Hey, what's up guys, the Welcome Daddy here, bringing you guys another bombastic video. And as soon as I reached Legendary Eagle, I said that sometime in the future I might make a how to get out of DMG video if I'm able to maintain the rank or rank up higher. So here's the video, and hopefully I won't disappoint you, but I do realize that I ranked up because of the ban waves. But if you look at it from another perspective, it didn't take me a long win streak to get to Eagle, but it took me quite a few wins to get to Legendary Eagle Master, and it took me an 8 win streak to reach Supreme. And just yesterday I reached the Global Elite, and I guess that kinda makes me an alright player. I still don't think I'm good, and I doubt I'll ever consider myself a good player. But anyway, before the huge ban waves, there were actually a lot of DMGs saying they're stuck in the DMG hell. They can't get to Eagle even though they're playing against Eagles and Supremes, and they're even winning a lot of those games. And I believe by now a lot of those DMGs are Eagles and Supremes, because a lot of hackers got banned and ranks got shifted, and a lot of Master Guardian 2s went to DMG, a lot of DMGs went to Eagle and Supreme and stuff like that. But I still believe there are people stuck in the DMG rank, so I'll try to help you guys out. Now, first things first, you have to have the equipment to be able to improve. Now, if you have a shitty mouse, go ahead and upgrade it. It's going to be a great investment. Get a good mouse which is comfortable to use, get a mouse with a good sensor, get a mouse that is precise. Also, if you're barely getting 60 FPS on your computer on CSGO, maybe you should lower some settings. Maybe you should play Counter-Strike on the lowest possible settings, because that's definitely not the worst option if you want to boost the FPS. I mean, if you're struggling to get a stable, good FPS, maybe it's time to upgrade your computer, because that way it's going to be a lot easier for you to improve your skill at Counter-Strike Global Offensive. 144Hz monitor isn't necessary, but it will definitely help you. Then again, I don't own one. I own a 60Hz monitor, and I was able to reach global with it. Gaming headphones aren't necessary, but you do need regular headphones which produce stereo sound, so those shouldn't be really that expensive to get and stuff like that. So once you have the equipment, you want to start like training, because if you just play the game, if you play a lot of matchmaking, you don't train, chances are you're not going to get that much better. So you have to develop a training routine. Now, what I personally do is go for 200 kills in headshot only deathmatch daily, and I believe it does help my aim, because my aim isn't the best, and I try to get my kills based on game sense. I try to like take unexpected angles and stuff like that, but I still try to improve my aim while playing deathmatch. So what I do every single day is go for 50 USP-S frags in a pistol only headshot deathmatch server, and for 150 frags with the AK on a headshot only deathmatch server. So that way I kinda try to keep my aim consistent while at the same time improving it. And I do believe that this training routine helped me become a lot better player, and honestly, while my aim still sucks, it's a lot better than it was before. So I would really recommend every DMG, if you're not doing this already, develop a training routine so you can improve as a player. You're not forced to do exactly what I'm doing. You don't have to go for 200 kills in deathmatch. You can go for 100 kills and play some aim maps for 10 to 15 minutes. You can also go for 300 kills in deathmatch. Or you can try out a headshot only deathmatch, you can try out a regular deathmatch, see which one works the best for you. But as I said, the one that works best for me is just headshot only deathmatch, just pure headshot only deathmatch. So I would really recommend just trying it out. But then again, it's all up to you, it's all personal preference, it all comes down to what you think is helping you improve the most at the game. The important thing is though, you have to train if you want to become a better player. Also, if you can get your teammates to execute simple strats, it would benefit you a lot. A good example is just an A-take on Mirage with smokes. I mean, if you can get one of your teammates to smoke off CT on Mirage and you smoke off jungle, it will be a lot easier for your team to just charge into the bomb site. Or a B-take on Inferno, if you can smoke ruins and one of your teammates smokes CT, it's going to make the bomb site take a lot easier. If you can make that happen in DMG, it's going to benefit you a lot. And then, after you do that, after you charge into the bomb site, It's all about your aim once again. But one of the most important things, or even the most important thing you have to learn if you want to rank up from DMG is 80/80 skills. If you know how to use 80/80 effectively, it's almost an automatic rank up for you, because most DMGs have no idea how 80/80 works, but by learning how to use it and by using it actually in most gunfights you take, it will give you an enormous advantage over people who don't have any 80/80 skills or strafing skills or however you want to call it. And most DMGs have no idea how 80/80 works, and even some Lems and some Supremes don't use 80/80 effectively in matchmaking, but I guess they are just post-Banwave Lems and Supremes, just like me. And I didn't know how to use these 80/80 skills some time ago as well. I started practicing it in deathmatch, and eventually I learned it. I'm still not the best at it, I still sometimes mess it up, but the important thing is I know how to do it, and I know I should do it, so I try to do it. And now I'll actually demonstrate how 80/80 works in game. For example, like you have the AK-47 and the enemy is standing like right there. Like imagine there's an enemy right there. So what most DMGs will do, they will just go left, release the A key and start shooting instantaneously. And what that does is actually, it messes up your spray, and your first 3 to 4 bullets, I mean 2-3 bullets, just don't go to your target, and your spray is just messed up. You don't really want to do it. So an alternative method of shooting is actually just strafing out and waiting for the animation to like stop, for your character to stop moving completely, but that's also not a good thing to do. But still a thing that a lot of players do, and I used to do that as well. But what you actually have to do is release the A key and at the same time press the D key. And what that does is actually makes your character stop instantly. So with this method you can actually strafe out and shoot instantly. You don't have to wait for the animation to like stop moving and stuff like that. And you can be a lot faster while doing this method. And you can actually use the 80/80. I mean, you have to use the 80/80 skills in a lot of gunfights. And whenever you think you would encounter enemies, for example, I think there's an enemy right there. So what do? I move. I move using my D key instead of my forward key, so I can quickly tap A and stop moving, so I can actually have an advantage over my opponent whenever I peek him, whenever I see him. And I know I'm not the best at explaining how 80/80 works and stuff like that. There are plenty of videos on YouTube explaining it a lot better than me, and I would really suggest going and watching them if you want to get more in-depth information about AD&D and stuff like that. And how do you actually practice this? I mean, I practiced it pretty much just by playing deathmatch and using this method in every single gunfight I took. And by going for 200 kills in deathmatch, every single one of them while using AD&D skills, it will definitely like help you train it. And at first it will definitely feel very unnatural and stuff like that. But after a few days you will actually get used to it, and it will be just a normal thing to do. You will have your muscle memory going for it, and you will be able to do it in competitive games as well. And that's just something to keep in mind. You definitely want to learn how to do it if you want to get out of DMG. And one more thing that might actually help you get out of DMG is finding and tuning your settings on Counter-Strike Global Offensive, finding your perfect mouse sensitivity, finding your crosshair that you actually like to play with, and just personal stuff like that. And it might not seem that important, but once you actually find stuff that you're very comfortable with, you're going to want to stick with it. It's not going to give you an advantage over your opponent, but it's going to make you more comfortable at the game. It's going to make Counter-Strike Global Offensive more personal to you. And that's why I recommend messing around with your sensitivity, messing around with your crosshair, and just finding out what works for you. And once you've actually changed your crosshair to something very different and your sensitivity to something you've never played with, don't just jump right into a competitive game, because chances are it's not going to result in anything good. I would suggest just to go ahead and play some deathmatch and try to get comfortable with the sensitivity, see if it actually benefits you, and keep in mind that for some people it might take up to a week or even longer than that to get used to a completely new sensitivity or to get used to completely new settings. But yeah, it's definitely worth messing around with that kind of stuff. And one more important thing, you have to realize what your mistakes are if you want to improve at the game and if you want to rank up. Ever since I was a Master Guardian 2, I started realizing what my mistakes are, and that's probably because I record my gameplay to put it up on YouTube. But if you don't have a YouTube channel, you don't record your gameplay, you don't spectate yourself, I would suggest just going ahead and watching some of your demos. Going ahead and just downloading a few of your demos and reviewing them, I mean. Because watching yourself play will feel pretty weird, and sometimes when I spectate myself I just facepalm because I see all the bad decisions I make, I see what I could have done better in that kind of scenario and stuff like that, so watching your own demos helps a lot, to be honest. And if you can't figure out what your mistakes are, then I would suggest just going on Reddit and asking some higher ranked people to review your demos for you, and honestly, it's very helpful. But anyway, a guy like me was able to reach global, and I think I'm a pretty fucking terrible player. And if you were able to make it all the way up to DMG, and someone like me was able to make it all the way up to global, chances are you can get to global as well. Chances are you can get out of DMG as well. You just need to be willing to improve. You just need to train. You need to realize what your mistakes are, and you need to try to become better at the game. And that's it. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope I helped some of you guys out. And it's been the Baldy Commentator, and I'll see you guys later in the next video. Peace out.